These are 5 CNC projects that sell. You can make money with these, y'all. And one can even bring in money while you sleep. Let me show you. First on the list, and probably one of the easier projects to make on a CNC, are catch-all trays. Now you can make them in various shapes and sizes and for different uses. My wife has a round one on her desk that she keeps paper clips and different things like that in. Made that one out of leopard wood. It's really pretty, but you can make it out of most any woods that you want. You can get a little more technical. We have one that we sell that's a guitar shape, and then we engrave the bottom of it with different scripture and different things like that, just to give it a nice personal touch. And these are extremely easy to make because almost all of my catch-all trays use 1 or 2 bits. So there's not a lot of bit changes going on. Usually a 1/4 inch down cut and a 60-degree V-bit to put that engraving in there. Other than that, pretty simple to do. And they're fast to make, which makes them highly profitable. Another one we make is a round tray. It has a baseball engraved in the bottom, based on an American flag theme with the stars and the stripes with the seams of the baseball. This is probably one of my favorites. Now you can use these in the shop to store things in as well. Most people put them on their desk or nightstands to put their jewelry, their watches, things like that in. And one of the more recent catch-all trays I made was a gift for my wife for Valentine's Day that she can put jewelry in and things like that. It's a heart shape, it interlocks, it's just really cool. I didn't design that. I bought the file on Etsy and sent it to my software and printed it from there. The great thing about catch-all trays is they can be simple round, square, rectangle, or they can be as intricate as you like by putting details in there or just cutting them in unique shapes. Our best sellers are walnut. We've tried maple and some other flavors of wood, but walnut always seems to be the best seller, whether that be on Etsy or our own website. Number 2 on the list, probably our biggest seller, are templates. Mallet templates specifically. We sell a lot of these on the website because it helps people make mallets faster, and you can batch them out. If you wanted to use the same design over and over, that's where a template really shines. Or if you've never built a mallet before, it kind of gives you an idea of the size of the head as well as the handle and the layout. It's just an easier way to do things. I've also used templates to make charcuterie boards and cutting boards and things like that, just to get that unique shape. And just templates help you build faster and more efficient. And that's probably why they're one of the better sellers. So if you've got a CNC and you have something in your shop that you've designed, a unique shape or anything like that, you can really help people out by making your own templates. You can cut those out of MDF. We use 1/2 inch MDF and it works really well for us. It's easy to cut, easy to ship because it's lightweight and they just work well. A good friend of mine come up with this whale board template, and it's just acrylic, aka plexiglass, and you can use these on the router table so that you can just batch them out. Double stick this to whatever wood you've chosen, and then you can just route it with a flush trim bit. That makes it super fast, and you can batch these out as well, especially if you're doing craft shows or you're just trying to get stock up to sell. That's a great way to make several without having to try to cut that line every single time. So templates are the way to go. Before we get to number 3, this is the CNC I use. I always get asked in these videos what my CNC is. This is shape Oak 04 XXL by Carbide 3D. They have been a sponsor in the past, but they are not a sponsor of this specific video. This is a really good CNC machine. I've used it for a couple of years now, and I've had minimal issues with it. The only issue I had was I had a wire get pinched, and they sent a replacement immediately, no questions asked. So super cool customer service. But it has a 29 by 29 cutting area, which has been more than enough for me. I always thought that I would run into issues on the 29 inches, but I have only once, I think, maybe twice. For the most part, we're making small parts, small trays, different things like that, and it just works well. It doesn't take up a ton of room, maybe a 4 foot by 5 foot section of the shop, so very minimal footprint, and it works well. I've been very pleased with this machine. I'll put a link to this one in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself. They have some pro models with some upgraded ball screw slides and things like that. This is a belt driven. I've had 0 issues with it. Number 3 on the list, one of our better sellers, are custom tool holders, specifically like this router bit holder. It holds all sorts of things, but the reason for that is we know our audience. Our audience are mostly other woodworkers, and if you're on Instagram or any other social media and most of your followers are also other woodworkers, which typically happens, you're typically not going to sell cutting boards and charcuterie boards to those people because they can make them. But if you have a CNC and they don't, then you can offer things like this that you've come up with and designed on your own. This one holds a caliper, 1/2 inch router bits, 1/4 inch router bits, and then there's a couple of other trays for tools and pins and things like that. I've also made custom drawer inserts to hold my CNC parts. That's another good thing about having a CNC is you can make custom parts for your own shop. And then on the router table, there's custom drawer inserts there to keep all that stuff organized. So it's just a great way to help organize tools. Again, I found that walnut works best here only because it seems to sell better than any other material. I've tried MDF ones, I've tried maple, but walnut, for whatever reason, seems to be what people want. Number 4 on the list, the reason most people get a CNC is customization. Most people buy the CNC because that gives them the opportunity to make custom work on whatever they're making. So if you're wanting to engrave a cutting board with somebody's initial or last name or anything like that, it makes it so much easier. And we've done some custom work as well. If you see this dog tag shaped mallet stand, I made this for someone out in California who asked me to make it for them. And they wanted a custom display stand to honor Vietnam veterans. And it was such an awesome project to do. I'll link that video in the description if you want to check out the whole video. Just a cool project. You got custom engraving on there, and we did it inside epoxy, so it was pretty cool. Also like this D&D dice holder we make. It's just a good custom cool project that you can make with a CNC. And of course, everything's not about making money. You can use your CNC to make custom gifts for your friends and family, like this weather station I made for my dad with that custom deer engraved scene on there. It's just a really cool project that I wouldn't have been able to make without a CNC. Number 5 on the list, you can make money while you sleep with your CNC. And that does not mean you let that CNC run while you go take a nap. That's not what that means at all. When you take the time to sit down and program a file and put all of the tool paths in and put all the time and effort it takes to make a CNC file, you can sell that file on Etsy or your own website or some other website. We use Etsy as well as our own website, and that generates income while we sleep. How? Well, people can buy it any time of the day, 24/7. While I'm awake, while I'm asleep. And for me personally, I buy files all the time from Etsy or from friends or people that I know that have CNCs, because it makes it easier on me. I don't have to sit there and spend hours designing something when it's already done for me, or at least most of the way. So like the guitar tray, I found that shape on cutrocket.com, which is free actually, free files. And so I brought the shape into my software and then designed the cutout tray inside it with the engraving. That's where you can customize things and then you can just resell that. Now, do not take somebody else's file and start selling their product without their permission. Anything that we have on our website, you're more than welcome to buy the file and start selling those projects on your own. Just don't resell the file unless you tweak it and make it your own. Also, like the deer scene on the gift that I gave my dad, it's not my file. I didn't make that deer scene. I bought the SVG on Etsy and then I just put it into the software and had it engrave that. So it's really cool to be able to buy these files and bring them into your software, tweak them the way you want them, and then produce things. That's a great way to make extra income, is just start selling your files. If you don't have an Etsy store, super easy to set up. You can set one up. I have a whole video on how to sell on Etsy. You click that box right there, clicking the box gets you the big old virtual fist bump. Really need to go watch that Etsy video. Also, my favorite CNC video right there.